Hello everyone, myself S. Bandare. Today we are going to see the concept loop in a C programming. For today's lecture, we are concentrating on the last type of a loop, that is for loop. As we know that, what do you mean by the loop? Loop is in short nothing but an repetitions. So in any situation where we require the n number of n iterations or some action taken out repetitively with some constant increment or decrement operations, then in such a situations we are writing the loops. For the last session, we have already seen the two types of loops, that is a while loop and do while loop. For this session, we are concentrating on the next type of loop, that is a for loop. As we have already seen, in a while or do while loop where there is an initialization, then condition is checked down, then either increment or decrement is carried out. Obviously, in a for loop also, these three basic actions are carried out. But the main advantage in the for loop is that all these actions are carried out with only one single statement. For loop can be used to execute some executable statements repetitively. We can control the iterations with an index variable, initialization, condition to stop the loop, and either increment or decrement in the index variable can be done in a single statement in for loop. So let's see what is the syntax for this loop. So for this syntax, we should have to use the keyword as an for. Then within a pair of an round bracket, we should have to write down the three parameters. The first one is an initialization. Obviously, in a loops, we are carrying out some kind of a task repetitively. So for that, we will be required some kind of a start value and the end value. The start value is nothing but called as an initialization. Index variable, that is variable we are using for checking out the execution of the loop, we are using variable that is called as an index variable. So what is the start value of that index variable? It is nothing but called as an initialization. So within 0 to 10, I am going to be take out the initial value as 0 and the last value is 10. So from which value you are interested to start the loop, that is indicated with the help of an initialization. It is going to be terminated with the semicolon. Then the next parameter is condition. So it will be nothing but you can say the end value of the repetition. It is also terminated with a semicolon, then either increment or decrement is carried out. So it is very important part in the for loop is that all these three parameters should be separated from each other with the help of the semicolon. Then after that, the number of statements are written within a pair of curly brackets. These statements, or this is nothing but called as a loop body, where you are allowed to write down the n numbers of statements in view of executing the particular task. Now let's see what are the alternate methods for the declaration. For the loops, we have to be carried out the three basic parameters, that is initialization, conditions and increment. So these are the three parameters are required, but we can represent this in a alternate methods or the alternate fashions. So in the first one, the initialization is carried out of the loop, and after that the semicolon is given, and then condition and rest of the two parameters, that is condition and increment is carried out. In the next one, the initialization is given, condition is given, but the third parameter increment or decrement is written within a pair of curly brackets, that is as a part of a loop body. But the condition is obviously terminated with a semicolon. In a third one, initialization and condition are not mentioned within a round bracket for the loop, but they are written. One is initialization is carried out before the loop and the incrementing is carried out within a loop body. But all these initialization and the condition are going to be terminated with semicolon. That is, in short, you can use any of the parameters either before the loop or within a loop body, but they should be terminated with the semicolon. There is one another way is that instead of using one variable, this loop allow you to use the number of variables, and their initial all these parameters are carried out within a single line. That is, here the initialization of the two variables I and j is carried out, then it is terminated with semicolon, but I and j are separated with the comma only. So whenever the semicolon is given, that means the initialization is complete down. Then the condition for the two variables is mentioned, then terminated with semicolon, and again increment or decrement. Here the combination is carried out, that is j variable is decremented and I variable is incremented. So that is also possible with the help of an loop. Now the flowchart, that is flowchart tells you what is in a sequence of execution of the loop. As I already explained, that is first is the initialization. The variable which is going to be used within for the loop, we are going to be initialize it. We mentioned put down some kind of a start value of the variable. So firstly put down the initialization, then check out the condition. If the condition is true, then statements are executed, that is nothing but a loop body. Then according to the direction of the arrow, the control transfers towards the either increment or decrement. After this increment or decrement, according to the arrow direction, again the condition is going to be checked. If condition is true, loop body executed, again increment or decrement is carried out. So this number of this kind of an action, that is n numbers of the iterations are carried out till the condition is true. Once the condition gets false, here the arrow tells that the control transfer towards the end of the for loop, and hence that loop body is skipped down and control transfer towards the next statements, which one is written after the closing bracket of the loop. Here I will try to explain the all of this information within a small program. So at the first, I have included the header files. Within a void main, the declaration of the variable will be test place. Then for this loop, use the keyword as an for. Then I is equal to 0. So this one is nothing but first, according to the syntax, this one is an initialization. I is the index variable whose start value is 0. Then a condition is mentioned that I should be less than or equal to 5, and the last parameter is nothing but an increment. So in short, what happens in this line is that I variable is started from the 0. It will be continued till the 5 less than or equal to 5, and for each and every iteration I value is incremented by 1. Within this, what is the loop body tells you that print down the value of the variable I. So here printf function is used, %d I value is printed. So for the first iteration, when I value is 0, initialization, check out the condition that is 0 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, hence the control enters into the loop body, and what we have order to do it here is print. So the compiler going to print the value of I. The latest value of I is 0, and hence in the output the first value comes as a 0. I explain this output with a red color. Now the third action is that the increment. So I value is going to be incremented by 1. Now the latest value of I is 1. Condition is checked. 1 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, then it is going to be printed. Now again it is incremented. Now I value is 2. 2 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, condition is true, and hence 2 is printed. So this is carried out continuously. For the last iteration, when I value is equal to 5, 5 is less than or equal to 5. Less than condition fails, but equal to condition is carried out, and hence the value is going to be printed. Again I is incremented by 1. So the latest value of I will becomes as a 6, but at that time I is 6 is less than or equal to 5, condition is false, and hence the control skip out the statements which are written into the loop body and control transfer towards the next line written after the completion of the closing bracket, that is transfers towards the getch and hence program. So we will be get the output which one is initialized or started from the 0, ended at the 5 with the horizontal tab. Now, nextly, we are trying to just see one program with a for loop, that is here write a program to print the Fibonacci series. What is this Fibonacci series means that first of all we are initializing the two values, that is 0 and 1. Now these two values are added and this addition will be nothing but a next number. So 0 plus 1, 1. Now this 1 and previous 1 values are added, that is nothing but a next value. So 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 3, 8 plus 5, 13, 13 plus 8, 21, 21 plus 13, 34 and so on. This is nothing but called as a Fibonacci series. That means to generate the Fibonacci series, we should have to add the current number and its previous number. Its addition will becomes as a next number. Let's see. This is the logic which is required for the Fibonacci series. Now we are just carried out this logic with the help of a program. So at the start, obviously the header files are included, the initialization will be carried out. Then enter the number of elements, that is how many numbers you want in the Fibonacci series. So 5 numbers means you will be get the 5 numbers within the series. That is given with the help of a number. As I already explained that for the Fibonacci series we required the starting values of starting two variables, that here considered as a and b, and their values are considered for the 0 and 1. So 0 and 1 are nothing but by default two starting elements of our Fibonacci series. Now here the results are printed for the a and b variables. Now use the for loop. So the keyword is used over here as a for. Initial value for the iterations, it is started from the 0. Then it will be carried out till number of -2, because 0 and 1, these are the two numbers already we have included within the series. So the condition provided over here is that whatever the number is entered by the end user, less than 2 is nothing but a condition, because 0 and 1 already two members are mentioned, and then obviously condition variable is going to be incremented by 1. Now as I have already told you that what is the third element is printed, that is previous 2. So a plus b is added and its addition is going to be saved into the variable c, and c variable is printed. Now for the next number we should have to be these previous two variables should be remain empty, and that will be carried out. That is b value is going to the a and c value is transferred into the b. So latest value will be comes into the a and b, and again they are going to be added. So for the first iteration, when 0 plus 1 are going to be added, the latest value of c is 1. Now for the next one, b value is a 1. So that is transfers between towards the variable a. So the latest value of a will becomes as an 1. C's value is transferred into the variable b. So latest value of b will becomes as an 1. Again c is equal to a plus b, that is 1 plus 1. The latest value of c will becomes as an 2. And hence this kind of an iterations will be carried out till the number will be less than 2. And hence it will be gives you the output that I have already explained, called as the Fibonacci